What up, folks? I'm ultrazillatoys, and today I have a review of the Nacelle Company Robo Force MAXX 89. That's right, my zillions, starring in the hit animated series. I don't know if that animated series is quite out yet. I haven't seen it, at least. I have seen the opening with an amazing theme song, so I do recommend checking it out. Robo Force is based on an old 80s toy line, and then there was like a reboot of the toy line. It's kind of like a Glyos compatible toy line by Toyfinity. I actually got the MAXX, what was he called? I don't think it was 89, but whatever it was called before that. I got that MAXX. I don't know where it is anymore. I never got to review it here on the channel, but I do have that. So I've always liked MAXX. So this was definitely something on my radar to get for quite a while, ever since I heard that Nacelle was doing this. However, just never got my chance to get my hands on it. I did see them briefly at Toy Fair. Like, as I was walking out, I came upon their booth, and I inquired about this, but the people to talk to were actually not at the booth at that moment, and they weren't going to be there for a little while, and I was, like I said, on my way out. So it wasn't until this was announced recently, this is like the second production run of MAXX 89, and congrats to them for selling out of the first one, though I think you can get it if you check around. It's got a white box. You know, it wasn't till this was announced that I said something on Instagram, and lo and behold, I was able to get MAXX and the other one in Series 1, a Wrecker, which we will be reviewing separately because these bots are big and awesome and deserve their own love. So really, much thanks to the Nacelle Company for sending these over for a review. Very, very cool. Really looking forward to this. So without any further ado, let's get to that review. And here is MAXX out of the package, and he looks really, really cool. He's armed up with most of his equipment, and we're going to look at that in a second. But the first thing I want to talk about is he is standing right now, and this is a really good thing because this surface that my desk has is not very conducive to these particular figures because they have suction cup feet. They do. And you might be like, why the heck would they do suction cup feet? Because that's how the originals were. The originals were with suction cup feet, or it was just 1 foot because I think, you know, the robot was just more blocky and it just had one leg, I think. This is more like the extreme version of the Robo Force, which I dig as an extreme old school fan. That always kind of did it for me. So anyway, the suctions here, they are getting very dusty very quick. They're gathering dust, but I think that might be my fault because I did try to, one of the things I was doing, you know, sometimes you wet suctions and they, you know, kind of stick a little better. So if you put them down on their suctions, yeah, he tends to have like a wobble, and then he kind of wobbles down. Oh, right now he's sticking. He's wobbling back a little bit, but he is sticking a little bit. It wasn't really too much suction. But anyway, I think this might be from the paper towel I used. So, yeah. Or, I mean, this kind of material naturally does take up a lot of dust. Take on a lot of dust. And as you can see, look, the top part is getting a little bit dusty too. And I didn't wipe the tops. So, but on other surfaces, the suctions work great. No water needed. This was just what I was trying to do here to make it stick. But the suctions do work very, very well on other surfaces. It's just on this one, it wasn't so hot, but he was standing just on them not suction in. So that's pretty good. And again, it's nostalgic. I don't mind it. Part of me wishes that they made this removable and gave us like an alternate set of feet. Maybe something to think about in the future, because it's cool and retro and awesome, but it doesn't jive well with the rest of the figure, you know, like, because they went with this like really crazy awesome aesthetic, which is totally kind of different than what you're seeing in the cartoon, which is more like, animated, old school type feel. This, they really went and did it up nicely. We'll keep it on the bottom of the legs here because there's a lot to look at. The paint is awesome. The coloring of this guy is interesting. It's like a pearlescent type color, and I really, really like it a lot. It's really, really nice. It's not really white. It's kind of white. It's like a very off-white, but it's got pearlescence to it, and it's beautiful. This is a really nice sculpt here of all the wiring. No paint on this, but do you really, really need it? Nah. The yellow is done well on the sides here. Sculpt, again, looks fantastic. You got blue here, which I believe is painted blue. And then, you got these in here too, which look pretty good. It is this side. Very nicely done. Even the joints are sculpted, which is awesome. Love seeing that. Going up the leg here in the back, just really nice. You get paint on the back, nice shading, panel lining. All of that you might need is there. It's cool. Even the butt looks pretty good. So let's keep it, on this bottom half first before moving up. Then you got more blue. A little bit of blue coming out of the line there. I believe it is at least. The bottom looks pretty good. The front here looks really good. Over here, again, in the joints, just looking awesome. It's just, this part's like a pure like rubber. And that's cool. I like that. And it looks like really good. Even in this blue, you get, wash in the grooves, which is awesome. These upper pieces with all the wiring and tubing and all that look really good. Do like it. Beautifully done. I don't know. I think that looks really, really good on all sides. So the legs are fantastic. The Krashiji section, you got the blue in the middle here, and then, again, that pearlescence with the wash throughout, which looks awesome. Then on the back here, you get all this tubing that goes all the way into this backpack, which has like a nice droid feel to it. Really like how that looks. You got some of this tubing coming out, which is part of the accessories. We're going to look at that separately in 1 second. I just want to get through all of this because I started it this way, and we're going to continue it this way. You got tubing on the sides. You got tubing at the belly, which looks really good. Again, the chest looks awesome. This is nice and old school, though. I love how the chest looks. They kept that aesthetic looking pretty old and awesome in 80s. Then this part here is interesting. I think they painted it black, and then they tampoed over it. I think that's how they did it. It looks good, for the most part. If you look at the very edges, it's a little bit off. Like the bottom is actually good, but then at the top, it's a little bit off, but it's fine. It's not that big of a deal. This all looks pretty good, though, I gotta say. I love it. It feels a little weird, and I hope it doesn't take on dust, but it has a weird, almost tackiness to it, but not really. It's a weird feel. Then the arms look awesome. Again, you got this awesome gun here. Here, we'll look at this one. Really, really nice. Awesome gunmetal. Awesome, like, copper up here. Like, all washed out. Very, very awesome. Not washed out, but, like, with a wash. Then the shoulders, you got the blue here. Yellow, which looks pretty good. Again, you got dirt looking stuff. The upper arms here, the biceps, look really good with all the tubing. Again, the elbows looks good. There's wash in there. I don't know, man. Look at that elbow. That is super cool. Now, more tubing, more blue. A little bit coming out, the blue there. But overall, I mean, really nice forearm. This hand came out here. The hand looks good, though. Really, really nice. Little claw. The claw. And then the blue. Pearlescence. Beautiful sculpt. Very, very nicely done. Awesome looking robot. And then the same thing going on this arm, which is very, very cool. This hand, both of these hands are like holding hands, and he's got this really, really cool gun in this one. Kind of same motif with the gunmetal into the copper and the wash. Looks awesome. Very, very nicely done. Look at the front of this gun. That is cool. There's an opening here, and I wish there was like a blast effect to go in there. That would have been cool. But it's very, very nicely done. Really awesome looking gun. So that's another accessory that we looked at now. Doing this weird, not like I usually do it. But we looked at this, and now we'll look at these guys as well, because let's just keep it here. This one here comes out of his back. Unfortunately, it's shooting his leg. And there's nothing else to do about that. Maybe heat it up and try to reposition it. It's a really hard plastic, the tubing, and I wish they made these bendies. This would have been a really good place for a bendy wire. I think that would have worked awesome on all of these if these were bendy wires. I really wish it was. I was hoping it was, so you can position them. If they make more of these guys, I would suggest bendy wire. If they do a, MAXX 2.0, bendy wire. On any of these guys, bendy wire. You do get an interesting little light blue in the front of this gun. It's pretty cool. Otherwise, it's the same color as this. This is the only color on this one, on the one that shoots his leg. And then this one up here also has that blue. It's interesting, this one. I don't know what this one is. I feel like this is more like a sensor or something. I don't know. But it's cool. It works. And like you saw this one over here. Now, interestingly enough, in the prototype, or whatever they use for the product photography, it looked like some of these things were switched around, and it was like a little bit jarring to figure out exactly where they go. And even still, like I heated this up and I still couldn't get this to go all the way down, and naturally it almost fits in here better and reverse, but then when you do it, the guns are not pointed in the right direction. So there's that part of it. So that could be a little bit better done, because these are keyed, but the key for these two kind of are swappable, but it doesn't really make sense. Now the head sculpt, finally, looks awesome. It looks like the original MAXX, just souped up a little bit, but pretty much the original MAXX. The eyes in orange look pretty good. I think there's a little bit of bleed there, but we're super zoomed in, so it's a little bit harder to tell in real life, but it is there. Then the top here looks pretty good. I like that. I like the overall shape. It's very, very nice. You can see, when they originally did Robo Force, and especially in the original designs, it definitely takes, some inspiration from R2-D2. But I like that. I always did. And this particular design, honestly, of MAXX, has to be inspired by those customs we saw, years back of, R2-D2 on, the Hulkbuster heads, bodies. So that's what this reminds me of completely, is those those customs, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that. It's kind of realized here way better, so this is really awesome. MAXX has one additional accessory, and it is this clawed hand, which is really, really nice. It's this basic hand with a claw attached to it, done in gunmetal. I do like it. Very, very nice. Well, knives, it would be more appropriate, like knives. Very cool. These come out kind of easy, maybe too easy, but it fits pretty good. And for your size comparisons, first up here is MAXX with the other Nacelle Company Robo Force figure they sent me for review, and that's MAXX's teammate Wrecker. And these guys look awesome together, and they both stand a lot better without all of their back equipment, at least on this surface. But yeah, really, really cool looking robots. Do stay tuned for the full Wrecker review. Here is MAXX with Super 7's Mogera, which I just reviewed. And they look good together. I mean, the Robo Force stuff, they're not giant robots, but they kind of look like giant robots in these iterations of them. So they go pretty good with the Super 7 stuff. Case in point, here it is with the Dragon Zord and a Grimlock. And if we want to give MAXX some bad guys to fight, here it is with the Big Devil from Hero Toys and Titanium Man from DST. And my final thoughts, this is a pretty cool robot figure. It's got that 80s nostalgia mixed with that extreme type of feel, and I really, really like it. It has that droid buster aesthetic that is very cool, fully realized here, and I totally enjoy it. I love how this MAXX looks. Came out really good, awesome sculpt. The paint is really, really nice. The accessories are really cool. However, I do wish that they did have a bendy wires. I think that would work out really nice for future releases. Also, something to think about is alternate feet to the suction cups, which work good on certain surfaces, but not all. And for posing, it does get a little hard. So, like alternate feet, I love the nostalgia of the suction cup feet. I mean, it's what the original was. You know what I'm saying? But you know, to have it for like other uses, other feet would really work out as well. So something to think about for the Nacelle Company. You know, like I think those two things would make these figures even better, and they're pretty cool to begin with. So do stay tuned for my Wrecker review. That is coming up shortly as well. But this is pretty awesome. I do really like it, and I thank the Nacelle Company for sending it over for a review. Let me know your thoughts down below on this figure, and if you're new to the channel, why don't you go ahead and sub yourself for daily content, and let me help you diversify your collection with some pretty awesome extreme robot figures. Till next time, peace out, peeps.